Hey everyone, welcome to Youth Bombs. I'm Craig,
I'm Carson.
and we're the voice of young conservatives in Alachua County. Today we have Mr. Evan Power joining us, the chair of the Republican Party of Florida. He's served in this role since January of 2024 and was a lobbyist in Tallahassee before taking over the party and is a graduate of Florida State University. So Evan, we actually met several months ago at Columbia County event. So good to see you again. We wanted to break this down into three parts, by the way. The background, what's currently going on across the country, and what you see for the immediate future for the party as we transition into a second Trump administration. So, to start, how did you first get into politics?
So I went to Florida State, like you said, and I interned for a young up-and-coming leader who was the majority leader at the time, Marco Rubio. Then I became a staffer, and then during my time with him, I got involved in my local party. I was a precinct committee person. I became vice chair. I became chairman, and then all did various tasks within the state party, and became chairman in January.
Wow, okay, sounds like a lot of experience. You've really worked your way up there from the grassroots level, so you understand what's going on both at the hyper local level and the state level.
Can you go ahead and
Yeah,
tell us?
it's a good combination, I think, to be able to hit the bottom level from grassroots level on up, so that I understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us some key moments that stand out to you on your climb up to the state party chair?
Yeah, well, so I became chair of chairs of the Republican Party of Florida in 2019. So that was a big moment for me. I was able to use that post to be able to communicate with other chairs, and that gave me the ability to go to Miami, to Key West, to Duval, to Escambia County, helping out party chairmen, and got a good grasp of what was happening across the state. And that helps me every day in my job because I've been in these counties. I've communicated with people, met people at Lincoln Day events, and understand what's going on in their counties.
Nice. Sounds like you're working really hard, understanding the landscape of the political situation in Florida and how that's working out as each county has different needs and trying to get out the vote there. Regarding your lobbyist work, how has that helped you understand the political situation in Florida?
Yeah, it's a benefit. Some people ask questions on how those two match up, but one is fundraising is an important part of being a state party chair. Fundraising is an important part of being a lobbyist. I also interact with elected officials, and they've actually built trust with me from my time lobbying that I'm able to bring them into the party and explain to them what we're doing at the party so that they are partners with us. And that's why you see so many elected officials working with us day in and day out.
hmm Excellent. Okay. Glad that it's working out well and the hard work pays off.
So we're a couple weeks out from the election now. Can you tell us maybe some places where you've seen victories and maybe some places where we could use a little bit of work?
Yeah, so we had the biggest victory in Florida since 1988. So we're very excited about all the good work we did. We flipped 6 counties, Miami-Dade County, first time since 1988. It's voted for a Republican presidential candidate. So that's big news for us. We got really close in Palm Beach County. It was 0.66% away from flipping Palm Beach County. But our focus moving forward is going to be working on flipping Hillsborough, Duval, Palm Beach, in voter registration, because we think if we can get over those humps, we can build some long-term success and prevents the Democrats from getting footholds in some of those areas.
Love to see it. Yeah. And we've got a 1 million Republican Party advantage now in terms of number of voters over the Democrats. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're up probably at 1.1 right now. I think you'll see us move up as people fall off the rolls who didn't vote in this election. But we're going to keep the pedal to the metal on voter registration, because when you got to election day, we had more voters available to us than the Democrats did, which put us in a perfect position to deliver those big wins.
Absolutely. And love to see that 14-point win with President Trump on election night. Absolutely amazing when we had a 3-point win, I believe, in 2020. So big improvement. But what are some of the victories that you saw in the state that maybe aren't getting as much attention?
Well, I think the untold story that very few people are talking about is Osceola County, which is a deeply Hispanic community, is voted Democrat for a long time, has pretty much all Democrat office holders there. We flipped that county, and it was us talking to the Hispanic population in Miami-Dade and in Osceola County, and developing a message that worked, that the Republican Party was working for them. And what you saw the RNC was able to do was take that messaging that we did in Miami-Dade and Osceola and export it over to Arizona. And we saw big wins with the Hispanic population in Arizona. So I think that's the untold story of what's happening in Florida. Is you always had Cuban American voters. What I thought was interesting when we saw the final polling is non-Cuban Hispanics were also voting for President Trump by a large number. So I think that says a lot about where we're going as a party.
Excellent. Yeah, love the collaboration and working hard together. Republicans helping to Republicans. That's always great. It's what we need is the teamwork to really succeed and get out that vote.
Can you tell us how some other state level parties can help and make the change that we've seen in Florida?
Well, you're seeing it happen. People, it's our success is kind of contagious. It helped in Georgia. If you look at what they were doing, Georgia has been red for a long time. It flipped in the last couple of years. Their chairman has done a great job, Josh McCoon, in building the same kind of infrastructure and focus on the grassroots block building that we're doing. And so I think it's something that we need to continue to talk about as we expand, because we have had big victories here in Florida. We need to have them in Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin long term so we can continue winning these elections on a national level.
Absolutely. Continue building on that success and really winning those future elections because it's not just 2024. We got more to come. So, turning to the upcoming Trump administration, what do you see in some of his cabinet picks that really get you excited?
Well, one, Florida's become the epicenter of the political universe. You see a lot of picks from Senator Rubio, Congressman Waltz, Congressman Gates are all coming from Florida. But you also have a bunch of outsiders who have not been involved in government, from the defense secretary pick to Tulsi Gabbard. There's a number of them in RFK. But what you have is a bunch of nominees that are ready to shake up Washington. I think we can all make the argument, and I think it's pretty clear that the nation's been broken for the last 4 years. Florida's been working. So if we're bringing some of that Florida and outsider leadership into DC to fix it, and I think it will be exciting, changing the government for the long term, downsizing government. We're on a path to instability on the budgetary portion, and we have to cut the size of government in order to succeed long term. So I'm excited to see some of the things that they're doing with that.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying "Make America Florida," so good to see the Florida getting an impact in the administration.
How are politics nationally downstream from politics in Florida, and how is Florida going to keep playing a role, and vice versa?
Well, I think one, you have a president from Florida for the first time in history. I think that makes Mar-a-Lago a center of power. But you also see Florida as such a large state, probably going to be the largest, most successful, continually Republican state. Texas, it has their issues. But we've led the way. Florida leads the way in a conservative agenda. And you're seeing other states like Iowa match our legislative agenda. So I think you're going to see us continue to export our ideas, because people are pouring into Florida at record rates because they see what's happened here and they want to be a part of it.
Understandable. And I'm one of those. I moved from Massachusetts to Florida. Love what's going on in the state and the success we're having here. No income tax and great environment. So definitely loving that. Regarding fellow young people and looking at our youth-oriented audience, what would you encourage and speak to how important a role, say, Gen Z and Gen A play in upcoming politics?
Well, I think it's important. You see these generational movements, and for a while during the Obama term, they said all the youth was going to be Democrat from now on. What you're seeing when you look at the polling and the exit polling is that young people today turned out and voted for Donald Trump. I have a college campus a couple miles away. There's a lot of "Make America Great Again" red hats going on over there. So I think just playing a role, and I will say this, getting involved early and being involved in the party is important, because you offer us something. The idea of what is important to you and communicating that to us helps us legislate and push those policies forward so we can remain engaged. When I took over my party, I was one of the youngest chairmen in the state, and it was a large credit to college Republicans and young Republicans who wanted to see something different in Tallahassee. So I think it's important that you get involved, stay involved, and speak up.
Right. And building up that farm team is absolutely key because we got to keep getting more young folks involved with fresh voices and ideas to the Republican Party so that we can continue to grow. Last question, Governor DeSantis, what is he like?
He's a very thoughtful man. He's probably one of the smartest people I've ever talked to. He knows policy inside and out. He reads everything, and I think that's the credit where Florida started leading was during COVID. Is he dug into the numbers, looked at the data, and decided, what they're telling us to do from DC is not working. Let's try something different. And if it had not been for Florida, we might all still be wearing masks today. So I think it's a lot of credit to how smart and data driven he is. And he's very politically astute. And you see all the successes we've had in Florida. And it's a large part to his vision of where he wanted to see us go. And he's delivered on it.
Yeah, a lot of people, millions are thankful to the governor for his hard work and bringing more people to move to Florida. So goes a long way in growing the state, and his work is greatly appreciated. That being said, thanks, Evan, so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, and you do a great job.
Thanks so much. And we upload 3 times a week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have questions for us, feel free to email us at youthbombs@alatrarepublicans.com. Thanks so much.